Well, welcome to the show. I am your host, Daniel. Just one announcement. Every Wednesday at 11 o'clock my time, 12 o'clock Eastern time, on Rumble, I will be doing the body cam footage. It'll be just Rumble only. And this way, the YouTube bots can't strike me for something. And if I happen to miss an ad that has a song in it, Rumble doesn't care. They're not like YouTube and be anal all the time. YouTube's bots have been hitting everybody hard lately. And believe me, I'm subscribed to the channel who does all. There's going to be some amazing stuff on that. It's unfortunately I can't do it on here because it kept getting struck for visual. That's a bot thing. That's not somebody actually physically striking the channel, I don't think. I think that's a bot attack. And they're the YouTube bots, the AI bots, have been hitting every channel hard. Really hard. So I figure, well, if I do it on Rumble, what the hell? They can't touch Rumble because Rumble doesn't what's the word I'm looking for? They don't censor content. So today is Judge Derek Meinecke. So let's get started with Judge Meinecke. So let me share my screen. Make this bigger. Yeah, that's what it is. It's AI bots. They struck the channel for visual. So to avoid doing that, I'm going to go ahead and just do the 2-hour live on Rumble. This way, I'm safe. And if I miss an ad, YouTube can't strike Rumble. And I remember there was one of the one of the live stream of the body cam videos I did in one of my streams. There was music playing in the background as they were talking. YouTube struck it, but guess what? It's still on Rumble with the original music. So All right. Enough of me talking.
Mr. Simpson, we're waiting for your attorney, so I'm just going to keep you on mute, okay?
All right.
What is this? Oh, yeah, there's a judge. I didn't see him for a second. This judge is slow.
Good afternoon, Judge. I apologize. I had to step away for a minute.
There he is.
I don't see Miss Miller anywhere.
Yes, Your Honor. I actually was just on the phone with her. If I may share with you what her situation is, I'll do so when you tell me, if you're ready.
Let's get on the record, 2400543. People read Miller.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. May it please the court. My name is Matt Savage. I've been assigned to represent Miss Miller. Your Honor, thank you for allowing me to be here via Zoom today, since I knew my client would probably not
My understanding,
be here.
without getting into too much detail, is it true that there is a significant event that's going on health-wise with a family member?
Yes, Your Honor. On Friday, I don't know how to say this without being straightforward. Her daughter was taken off of life support. So her daughter passed away on Friday, is what I was informed. And she had herself, Miss Miller herself, had an extraordinarily difficult weekend. Um, and then did see a physician. She did tell me she saw her physician and got back on her medication. She is home right now at the moment, and she told me she has absolutely no transportation. I did inform her before we hung up that if she contacts me sooner, I can help make arrangements to make sure she gets to court. I don't know if the court would be forgiven and hold this off until Friday. I think I can make arrangements to assist in helping her get her to court so we can get this case moving along. I'll do my best to help her out, Judge.
Hold on one second.
Sure.
Okay. Obviously, that's a devastating reality for what Ms. Miller is experiencing. Prior to that, we have had some significant issues with Ms. Miller. Um, whatever issues we've had, whatever bond violations, obviously nobody deserves to go through what she's going through right now. We certainly want to work with you and her and putting an appropriate length of time for grieving and getting things settled. Obviously there's still accountability that needs to be accomplished in this matter. but the timing is going to be crucial, because if, we press forward without any sort of recognition of her reality, she'll have no interest in even trying to work with us. And then we just get stuck with a situation where we're incarcerating someone with, ultimately no real, apparently no real interest in actually helping someone move forward. I'm trying to remember, we had an issue that we are going to have to deal with, because I think we have to amend the joyriding charge. If I remember right.
I remember there was some concern about that when we were doing the plea, and I recall that Your Honor found the statute, and I thought we had figured it out, but my memory is
We
not
did, but
quite.
I don't, let's see.
I thought you had this, you expressed a concern, then we did a little bit, well, you did most of the research. And I think we figured out the answer and moved forward with the plea, but whatever needs to be done, certainly, we'll do what's right.
I think the issue we run into is that there's nothing joyriding that we can keep here in the district court. The statute allows for the punishment to be reduced to misdemeanor levels, but not the charge itself. So the charge itself remains a 2-year misdemeanor, which is not, we can't address that in a district court. So I think we just need to, we probably should set it on a Friday, make sure that the prosecutor's here. I think he was simply trying to keep it as a misdemeanor. So there
Yeah.
are lots of larceny related charges that can be used to be kept as a misdemeanor,
Right. I think that was his goal, if I remember correctly, and I'm sure we could do something. He may be, amenable to an attempted joyriding. I don't know if that brings it to a 1 year, but
Yeah, that might do it, or, a 200 to 1,000, larceny or something.
sure, I'm sure we can figure it out.
We can figure it out. I'm not worried about that. So this Friday, you think you could have her come in?
I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to offer.
Closed. Oh, we're closed. We're closed on Friday. Never mind.
Really? What?
Yeah, that's it. So it's Juneteenth, this holiday.
Oh God, yeah, this Friday is the 19th. I was looking at my schedule right now. I was looking at the 26th. All right, yeah, the 19th, Juneteenth. No wonder I don't have court on the 19th. I didn't know why I had.
How about
What days is the state prosecutor there, or
Fridays, so the 10th or 17th? I can do July 10th or 17th. That will give you some time to help her get her house in order.
that would be great, Judge. Either day, the 17th is fine with me. The 10th is fine. Whatever you feel is appropriate.
Let's do the 17th.
Okay.
Do that at 8:30 a.m. in person.
Okay. I will offer up myself to her to make sure she gets there, and if I have to pay for her ride.
Well, I appreciate that. We'll see you back here on the 17th at 8:30 for sentencing. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Your Honor.
This is the 12th when you get a chance. It looks like we had a bond violation last week. It was bumped to this week. I'm just trying to figure out if we put the charge in. Count 1 has to change. The amended joyriding charge must change. Tina Reynolds? Right here. Sanford, we're just waiting for the prosecutor on yours. As soon as he gets here, we'll call it, okay? All right, 26-00395, People versus Tina Reynolds.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Scott Rabel, Ms. Reynolds, who was present, states to my right. Ms. Reynolds, please state.
All right, today's date and time set for a sentencing on a charge of operating while visibly impaired. Counsel, did you get a chance to read the pre-sentence report?
We have, Your Honor, Ms. Reynolds and I have gone over it. Regarding factually, it all appears to be mostly accurate. But on the second page, in the paragraph of summary and recommendations, about halfway through the paragraph, it states that Ms. Reynolds missed one test while out on bond. We believe that to be inaccurate. She has applied and has never had a missed test since being arraigned, Your Honor.
I think she was doing
So
alcohol testing. And I think probation wanted her to take a one-time drug test.
That was at the beginning. I did that and then I took 2 more after that. They all went.
That's what they're talking about, that on May 28th. Oh, never mind, you did that.
Yeah.
So where's the missed test that we're,
I'm trying to look.
that's where we are not sure, to our understanding, she never had any missed tests, Your Honor.
I don't see any evidence related to that, so let's take a look here. I thought that she would have missed the drug screen, but she didn't miss the drug screen. All right, so let's take a look. Okay. May 7th, this is what it says here, May 7th at 7 a.m. Okay, so she traveled. Okay, when you left on May 7th, what time was your flight?
I don't remember, I can look at my phone.
What just was it in the morning, afternoon?
It was in the morning.
Morning?
for Sure, but I took the test, the first test. I took all of them. Actually, the only one that will probably not have registered was on my way home on the 12th, when I was actually on the plane, took that, which I called the company as soon as I got off the plane and they said that I was fine.
So the day you flew out from Michigan,
Yes, sir.
okay, you took your test 7 in the morning, right?
Yes, sir.
So counsel, I'm looking at the sheet here, and they've got missed tests 7 a.m. Pacific time. So what that tells me is they had already set her up for Pacific time, and she hadn't left yet left Detroit. So she tested at 7, when this wanted her to test at 4 a.m.
Understood.
She's fine. No, I won't count that as missed.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Other than that, correction, Your Honor, it all appears to be factually accurate.
Okay. Obviously, there is a plan for her to participate in sobriety court. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. The terms are pretty set in stone. This is the way the program works, and I think she's a good candidate. I think, we've got a situation where she's here for a second drunk driving. We have to make sure with everything that we have that there isn't a third, that there isn't a situation where now she's looking at a felony. Because what's really interesting about the way in which they charge this offense is, in order for it to be a second, the 2 has to happen within 7 years. All right, that's what happened here. Okay. But for a felony, that third one can happen at any time. So literally, you can commit a drunk driving 10 years from now, they rope these old 2 ones in, you'd be looking at a felony. We have to get this right. We have to put you in a position that you are never before another judge again. It's time for, because I was looking at your record, but for alcohol, you're not in the court system. It's not who you are. So let's separate it from you completely, comprehensively, and permanently, so that all that's left is the good, hardworking individual who is otherwise not looking to harm anybody. All right, anything else, counsel?
Your Honor, I mean, most of it's in the report, but just to reiterate, Ms. Reynolds, she is 44 years of age, a single mother with 2 children, high school graduate. She's been gainfully employed for 15 years at General Motors. Along with, in the process of taking a real estate license, she plans on becoming a real estate agent here soon, so hopefully working 2 jobs. As you stated, other than more or less the prior drinking and driving related offense, that's really her only criminal history. She's complied well on bond, Your Honor, with no issues to our understanding. Regarding some of these recommendations, some of Ms. Reynolds' just personal concerns would be between the children and potential 2 occupations, the community service, the amount of hours, it's just, the extra amount of time. She wants to make sure she's successful. And then potentially the support meetings, 4 times a week. She's very busy, obviously, she understands the treatment as well, where she just wants to make sure she's successful.
These are the significant conditions, the benefits, obviously, as you can imagine, our success rates, being able to keep and maintain someone's sobriety, keep them out of trouble in the future. She could be eligible for a restricted license, which actually wouldn't happen in any other program. You think about it this way, man, in 90 days, you could be eligible for a restricted license, a license that you wouldn't see for years. And so basically what we're trying to do is convince the community who would say, hey, she's got 2 drunk driving, so she doesn't deserve a license. Be able to say, wait. She can earn the right to get a restricted license if she, follows these rules and participates in this intensive structure. Then whatever concerns you have about her being behind the wheel, we can address those. Look at all the meetings she's going to. She's doing community service. She's doing counseling. She's being tested. She's doing all those things. So I think that the fact that she's not in jail and still has a chance for a license means that these things are things that need to be done. And yeah, early on, ma'am, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Early on, it's going to be very, very difficult. We have to uproot any negative tendencies and replant positivity. And you do have to sacrifice some family time early on. But my feeling is that it pays off big in the end, because you never have to worry about ever being in a situation where you're not fully present for your family or your kids because of something related to alcohol, or your liberty is restricted. You're put in jail because we couldn't get our business taken care of. So all of these things, she's going to have plenty of time. She's going to have 2 full years to get this done. So the 200 or the 100 hours of community service, most of our people really don't even start getting to that until closer to the 1-year mark, because they've got to do their testing and the counseling and all of that. So none of this needs to be done right now. And as far as the support meetings, 2 of them can be online. She only has to go to 2 in-person meetings. And they're an hour long. She can find the time. Even as busy as she is, and I'm not saying you're not, you clearly are. You are not just a good hard worker for Ford, but it sounds to me like you're an entrepreneur. You want to do your own business. You want to get involved in real estate and be a mom. So I'm not saying you're not busy. You're clearly busy. All right. But for years, you incredibly have found pockets of time. Now that pockets of time will be given to sobriety. How is that a bad thing? So. All right, anything else, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Ma'am, is there anything you'd like to say before this court closes sentence? It's tough, because I do believe I have just a decent person standing before me, and to then be confronted with the reality that this, what appears to be a good, decent, law-abiding individual, is capable, not once, but now twice, of putting herself and others at risk. The irresponsibility of these actions, it's hard to reconcile. They don't seem to be consistent with the person who's standing before me. But what it then tells me is there's an issue with alcohol here. Okay, now everybody bristles at that, because we can all think of somebody who has a worse alcohol issue, right? Well, I'm not as bad as that person. Well, that doesn't mean that there's not a problem with alcohol. I would argue if you've been arrested twice for drinking and driving, you have an alcohol problem, all right? It might look different than somebody who's sprawled out in the middle of the street, drunk all the time, but it's still a problem nonetheless, especially if you think about it. It writes a story about you that you know isn't true. So, problem. And once we identify that it's a problem, then we can do something about it, as opposed to, well, you got to understand this, or it really doesn't look like this, and that doesn't get us anywhere. Let's just call it what it is. It's a problem. So let's do something about it. It's a sentence of this court that you be placed on probation for 2 years. In our alcohol drug treatment court, it's a $300 fine plus $350 in court costs, $125 in state costs, there's $100 fee plus arrest costs and probation costs. I'm authorizing a loan. Nobody is looking at that money right now. You have other things that you need to spend your money on, and we will chip away at this over time. The jail time, although earned by the charge, I will suspend because she's done a good job on bond, and I believe that she'll do well in our program. She's going to do alcohol testing with the ramp device, attend outpatient counseling, complete 100 hours of community service, complete a victim impact panel, attend 4 support group meetings a week with 2 in person, maintain employment. I will say, for now, I'm going to strike the daily journaling. I think it is very helpful, but with the 4 meetings and the counseling and all of that, I think she'll be able to express herself in a healthy way at these meetings, okay? Still a good idea, but I'm not gonna make it a court order, so it's one other thing that you have to turn. No bars, clubs, liquor stores, no alcohol, marijuana, or illegal controlled substances submit to ranch screens. Any violation could result up to 93 days and not getting a license. So clearly we wanna avoid that reality. For review in 14 days. Who's here with you today?
Smith.
Okay, thank you for being here. It seems to me that, from what I can gather, that she's an excellent mother. Would you agree?
Correct.
Okay. So there's a lot of children out there that don't have excellent mothers. And it would be a shame if we would be in a position where you would be separated from your children because we aren't able to get our business done here. All right? Especially at their age, at this time of life, their eyes are open too. So I would encourage you, because you want accountability from them, make sure that this isn't a do what I say, not what I do. That you two at the appropriate time for the conversation, that you two have discovered that you were capable of negative choices, and that there were real consequences to that. That really be a conversation with the 15-year-old at your pace. And that making the healthiest choices possible with drugs and alcohol is absolutely crucial. I fully strongly with this Reynolds being open and honest, particularly with your kids, because of the difference that it made in my life. My mom was very much aware that her dad drank himself to death at 44. 44! All right? Died on the side of the road. All right? She's saw him in the hospital and his liver was failing and told him, if you don't change, you won't walk me down the aisle. He didn't. So the same thing happened with her brother, right? He was in Germany, having been discharged from the army, and he was just there and drinking, and she brought him back and put him in a halfway house. When I met my uncle for the first time, I was 12, and I met him in a halfway house. So you know what I understood from that age? My family has an alcohol problem. How do you break a generational curse like that? Making sure your kids are aware so that they go into, like me, because I had that information, I couldn't tell you what a beer tastes like. I've spent my whole life because I had that information going in. I didn't want to tempt fate. So too many families over the years have left the next generation at a disadvantage because they had information they didn't share. And my mom clued me in, and it's made all the difference. But just to let you know, my uncle now has 30 years of sobriety. So because of that, I learned 2 things. The stakes of the game that we play at are very high, but we can win. We can win if we get help and support. And, great stories are written that way. So I would advise you, again, you pick the time, you know your kids, you know when it's the right time. The more they know, the better, healthier adults they'll be able to be. And coming from you, it'll be more. All right, so I'll see you back here in 14 days. I look forward to working with you in our sobriety court. And our rehab goals for this are obviously to reduce the risk of repeat behavior, achieve and maintain a sober lifestyle, and complete a rehabilitative program, which, Ms. Reynolds, we can do together. All right, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel.
Does she need to check out with the county?
Yeah, she's checking downstairs.
Okay.
Probation.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Ms. Reynolds, you'll have a million questions when you leave here, okay? Just remember that you can call probation anytime, all right? And in phase 1 in particular, they'll be really helpful with letting you know, this can be done now, this can wait a minute, because you just gotta pace yourself.
Are they gonna come back downstairs?
You'll check in downstairs and they'll either talk to you today or set up a time to talk to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Damon Simpson, 2501759.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Bob Spencer on behalf of the people.
Sanford?
Yes,
All right, Mr.
Hello,
Simpson's
Attorney
here.
Monique Sanford on behalf of Damon Simpson. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm on my phone. I'm used to being on my laptop and I couldn't get the button to hit right, so I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine. I think service was an issue as well, so staying on, yes, if you even have to keep your camera off to make the signal better, that's totally fine, okay?
Okay.
All right, so we had bumped this over, Mr. Spencer, a couple things. We obviously had a victim on this case, so I want to make sure that the opportunity to participate if they wanted to. I don't know if you've been in contact with the victim at all.
I have, Your Honor. I spoke to Joshua Morgan at length last week, and he has been apprised of the plea agreement that we made out, and he is okay with it. He's agreeable to it.
All right, do you know if there's any
He-
restitution?
Yes, Your Honor, $250. I believe Ms. Sanford and I agreed upon that. I think that was what the asking was that was taken at the time of this theft.
Very good. Okay. All right, so do the people have any other comments before sentencing?
No, Your Honor. For everything else, we would defer to the court.
All right, Ms. Sanford, so a couple questions I have for you, and I'm sure you'll be able to relay that to me as well. So, you know, he's had different opportunities on probation, and it has not always gone well. He's completed one that I know of, but he's also failed on one, and courts just gave him straight jail time. What do you think would be in this young man's best interest to make sure that we break this clear cycle of destructive behavior that has kept him incarcerated for such a length of time? How do we stop this, Ms. Sanford?
Yeah, Your Honor, that is a good question. And I had, and I think my client will agree, I had a long conversation with him about his behavior and about what he was elevating to if he did not stop this behavior. Mr. Simpson has to make a decision that he is going to make better decisions. And some of it is, and he's going to associate with more positive people in his life, so that this cycle ends. I've had a lengthy conversation about he's heading, and this case was his first, but he's heading for felony territory and he's heading for prison territory if he keeps up this behavior. So I think that he understands this. I think this is the closest he's ever been to having to be incarcerated for a long term of time on potentially on a felony and prison time. So, you know, my hope is that he takes this opportunity to change his atmosphere, to get a legitimate job, and make better decisions and stay away from the element of people he's been associating with.
Okay. Do you think we can work with him on a probation if I basically gave him credit for the time that he's done and put everything else suspended and try to get him on probation and work with him?
I think so, although I will say that based upon all of the warrants, it may be a while before he actually gets back into the community.
So I was trying to figure out his holds. It's not all that easy to follow. Mr. Simpson, do you know where your holds are at?
I guess I got one and 2 in Taylor, 1 in Warren, and I believe Dearborn, Livonia.
Yeah, I would gather by when I looked at them, and the court caught me off a little off guard because I was asked to get on early, so I didn't quite make it back to my destination. But from what I gather, I think the Warren one is going to come get him next.
Okay. Yeah, some of these. Are just traffic.
Yeah, I think the Warren one, and again, I apologize, I'm not at my laptop where I can see things
Retail fraud.
better, but I believe the Warren one is the retail fraud, and I believe they're going to come get them next.
Okay. I'm a patient person. I can wait, Miss Sanford. Some of these places might just give them a flat jail sentence and call it a day. Obviously, that's not going to do Mr. Simpson any good in the long run. So I'm hoping we can come up with something different. All right, Mr. Simpson, is there anything you'd like to say before this court imposes sentence?
I really been thinking to myself, and I'm really going to change my ways. I'm just ready for whatever you guys got for me so I can be able to change my life whenever I get out of here.
Mr. Spencer, you said 250 was the restitution?
That's correct, sir.
All right, sentence of this court, despite his extensive criminal history already to this point, I'm going to keep the fines and costs low. There'll be 2 years probation. Whether you're on probation for the full 2 years, we'll see. It's a $100 fine rather than $2,000 fine. $100 in court costs rather than $2,000. $125 in state costs. There's no screening fee. There are no arrest costs. There will be probation fees. But I'm not looking for any of that money right now. It'll be a long-term payment plan, and we can always work with them to do extra community service if need be. While on probation, he needs to participate in an economic crimes class. My probation department will set that up. He'll participate in a Thinking Matters program or similar program. We got to get this young man on his feet working, staying away from the quick fix, the quick and easy buck that, as he's sitting in a jail cell, can't possibly feel quick or easy. I think you certainly have been suffering the hard as a result of it. $250 restitution, no contact with the victim, no new criminal offenses. He'll need to do an essay on his personal and professional goals. I want to see if Mr. Simpson could just hit the pause button for a minute and all the warrants magically went away and he could work the job he wanted to work and pursue different passions, where does he want to be in 5 years? And then maybe he and I can figure out how to get there. How a guy with the record that he's got, how this can end up being just the first or second chapter of his life, and that the rest of his book doesn't look this way. He's not engaged in any drug use, no marijuana, no alcohol. He'll test as directed. He doesn't have to do a random testing, but if probation wants him to test, he needs to test. Any violation could result in 365 days in jail. Obviously, I want to avoid that result. I understand that he's going to be spending some time in custody. We'll be tracking that. I'll set this for a review in 90 days. Just so I can confirm, Mr. Simpson, we're going to be sending you all the information. Is the Braille address still good or no?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Who do you stay there with?
My dad,
Okay.
my daughter.
So, Mr. Simpson, obviously right now, take care of your business in Macomb and keep your head down. Don't make any friends. When you come out, get in touch with us at the probation department here in Royal Oak. All right, just real simple. If you forget, just Google Royal Oak Probation Department. Give us a call, and we'll get to work together. I think everybody else at this point in time, Mr. Simpson, they're probably looking at giving you as much jail as they can and letting it run together. I just think that doesn't do anything for you. Yeah, if you have any potential whatsoever, now is the time to show it. I guess we'll see. I'm still going to bet on you, Mr. Simpson, that there's more to you than what I'm looking at on paper. But you got to decide. You got to decide. All right. Anything else, Ms. Sanford?
Nothing further.
All right. Good luck, Mr. Simpson. We'll see you back here in 90 days. Our goals on this probation are to reduce the risk of recidivism, obtain additional education, and for him to understand the consequences of offending behavior. I think he can learn a lot. I think he hasn't been given an opportunity, and he hasn't given himself an opportunity. Mr. Simpson, I think, has already come to the conclusion that this is just the guy he is. And I'm hoping we can change his mind. And I'm hoping that he's already starting to change his mind a little bit. This is not how it has to be. You don't have to be looking at the mirror at a jail at 30, at 40, at 50. There's still a different route available to you, Mr. Simpson. Let's find it. Good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Sanford. Thank you, Mr. Spencer.
Thank you.
We're still waiting for full and complete verification. We've got some. I don't want to keep bringing Mr. Wolford back here. So here's you got to keep working with Mr. Moran on this. And I know you're also actively pursuing it. So I'm good with the effort you're putting in. What I'd be willing to do today is, rather than continuing to set out dates, 90, I'm willing to terminate him today from probation, discharge, and that discharge ultimately will be with improvement then. He's completed all terms, save the verification of the community service, and get the dismissal. All of it will be contingent on a log of the actual hours, okay? But rather than having sort of this cloud hanging over your head, you walk out here today, discharge and dismissal. The only way you'd see us back is if in 90 days we don't have anything, then I would issue a show cause so that we can sit down and do this. But I just think we're running out of usefulness for like every 30 days, bringing him back here, taking the day off work, doing those types of things. I'd rather just allow you, Mr. Brother, to work in the background. We are one step away. We've got the email communication. We just need, a little extra work from this intergalactic gardens. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I believe that's just the email. It's through Hat Coast.
Right, but I mean, the guys from it's an intergalactic gardens. So.
Yes.
Which is a fantastic email name. So anyway, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any issue with that?
No issue. Thank you.
Okay, so the violation of probation is dismissed. discharge with improvement. Dismiss the matter pursuant to 769-4A. Contingent. Community service log within 90 days. All right, so don't forget about it. We still have to get that done, but that way he's not coming back every 30, 45 days. Okay? All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Did I need to talk to Mr. Hall?
It should be pretty quick.
Should be pretty quick. Okay. 2101821 Michael Hall.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mark Ron, here on behalf of the probation department.
Mr. Hall, are you there? You just have to unmute, sir.
Oh, I'm here.
All right, so I have high hopes for today. Mr. Marano?
Yes, Your Honor, we're waiting on the community service work with, Mr. Hall did provide that, so we do have updated for community service, completion of community service, as well as there were missed screens, but all did have makeup screens within 48 hours. So at this time, Your Honor, Mr. Hall has completed all terms of probation this time, Your Honor.
Mr. Hall, it has been a long road, but at the same point in time, I think it has to be said on the record that you persevered. You, despite different challenges and struggles, you saw this through all the way to the end. So you have to own this accomplishment. I mean, this is you could have bailed a number of different times, and obviously Mr. Moran and the court could have bailed on you, but we stuck it out with you. You stuck it out with us, and look what you did. You finished probation, head held high, pride restored, moving forward, right?
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
Well, you deserve it, Mr. Hall. Just do me this one favor. We were able to achieve this level of success because you really started taking care of yourself. Just continue to do that. Make sure that Michael Hall is a priority and healthy decision-making is a priority because, one, I don't want you in the court system again, but I want you to have a great life, okay?
Yes, sir.
So I'm very pleased, and I agree with you. The violation dismissed. I will discharge him with improvement. This file is closed. Mr. Hall, congratulations. Go live a great life.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate everything you done. Rano, appreciate y'all.
Well done, Mr. Hall. Take care of yourself. All right, bye now.
All right.
See you, Mr.
All
Hall. That's all. Are we ready on Wilkins?
Yes.
21-00048.
Ready,
Good morning, Your Honor. Mark Ron, here on behalf of the probation department.
ready, Your Honor, want me to tell us on behalf of Ms. Wilkins, present to my left.
Ms. Wilkins, state your name, please.
Keaton Wilkins.
Mr. Morano?
Yes, Your Honor, this is an adjourned violation. Ms. Wilkins has completed the attitudinal dynamics driving course that was completed on May the 1st. She has also completed all 30 hours of community service work. And she is in the process of getting her license this time. It does.
I got it.
Okay, she does have her license.
Wait,
I got my permit.
that is great news. Mr. Morano, can I see that?
Yes.
You run the driver's record for me first.
As of yesterday, I believe it's 5:14.
Hey, that's why we do these court dates. That's why we do these court dates, so that sometimes it doesn't get on your calendar until the holy cow, I gotta see the judge next day. When did they tell you to go get your road test?
I can take it this weekend.
Really?
They waived the 30 days.
That's wonderful news. Wonderful news. All right, so, okay, so she's done the community service hours, right?
Yes, the only, I guess, thing that's kind of outlined, there were 2 missed screens on March the 15th and April the 29th, as well as there was a screen that was taken on May the 8th, but a missed screen on May the 10th.
Okay, so she having had a positive screens.
No positive screens outside of her medical marijuana.
Yes, your record now says valid permit, and so as soon as you get past that road test, you're going to go right into From valid permit to valid full license. Wow. That is, I mean, that's great news. That's just simply great news. Coming out of this very long, challenging situation, be able to know that you got your license back and that you're in a much healthier place. I mean, that has to mean a lot, right?
A lot.
So, okay, so Mr. Morano, what's your recommendation for today?
Probation is recommending, due to the previous charges she obtained in Farmington in December, to discharge from probation without improvement due to those obtaining the new charge and the non-compliance with testing, and then place remaining balance on the show cause docket this time.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Your Honor, as it relates to that, she's not objecting to picking up that new charge. She's handled it. I believe it's just fines and costs out of Farmington. She does have a valid permit now. Hopefully we'll have a valid license very shortly. It's been a long road. I do think she is done with probation.
Now she's on, she's had a lot happen in the last couple of years too. You know, she had a baby, she had, you know, I mean, there's a lot that's happened now. It took us a while. We had to push you,
You're right.
okay, which I wasn't wild about, but sometimes that needs to happen in life. Sometimes you need somebody to be that gentle sort of shove in the back to get this done. Man, what's your takeaway from this whole experience? How do you make sure that you are protecting yourself going forward?
Yeah, so my life might get a whole change around. I got into insurance, as y'all know, after that happened, because I had to come out of pocket to pay for my car, y'all, get insurance, just for anybody, but, so I ended up doing that, so now I'm a manager at AAA, you know, I just lost my father, so it's just been a lot of life changes, but to stay on the right track, honestly, first of all, let me just say, I'm getting old, so I'm tired most of the time, so I like to nap a lot of the time and just spend time with my kids, so. I've been busy, so to be honest, the way I'm staying out of trouble, I'm busy. I'm busy working, I'm trying to start my own businesses, so, yeah, and I've learned a lot.
Just do me a favor though, if you find yourself stretched thin, okay, that's the only thing with being busy can help. But if you find yourself stretched thin, don't forget about the good work you did in counseling. And that door is always open if you need it. So if you find yourself drowning and you need to work through some stuff, make sure you use that opportunity, okay? Because you did a good job with it and you know it did a good job for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When are you gonna take that test?
This weekend, if they have it available. If not this weekend, it'll be next weekend, because I'm off on weekends.
Okay, so yes, technically, with the violation and the one miss that was not related to finances. I'll start with a discharge without improvement, but if she passes the road test and reaches out to you about that, I'm gonna amend it to discharge with improvement. And I'll waive $500 for the remaining balance. So your license means a lot to me, okay? And I know it means even more to you.
A lot.
So all you need to do is reach out to Mr. Murata, and once he receives verification that you took that test, and what we can do then, Mr. Murata, is literally just run a driver record and we'll see that she's got a full license. Then I will walk back $500 of your costs and change from without improvement to with improvement.
Sounds good.
Fair?
Fair to me.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well done.
Remaining balance on the show cause docket.
And then after that, and we're going.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
No problem, take care.
Aaron Lynn. 201-359.
Good morning again, Your Honor. Martin Ronald, going to be at the probation department.
Ready again, Your Honor, 1,000.
Okay, got a streak of good violation hearings, if it can be a good violation hearing. This one's gonna be converted, I understand, Mr. Marana.
That is correct, Your Honor. We do have the completion of the community service work with updated proof, as well as the update from her counselor, which was updated on May the 3rd. So we are in a very good spot, Your Honor.
Ms. Lynn. This is a good day. Mr. Gonzalez.
No objection. I think she's completed everything she needs to do.
Ms. Lynn, I know it's been a long road, but you know, I know just from our discussions too that, you know, you don't often hear or haven't often heard like, good job and good work, and in a negative situation like this, it's hard to feel good about yourself, especially when confronted about what happened. But you worked very hard, Ms. Lynn. All right, you saw this through all the way to the end, and I wasn't gonna just hand you a discharge from probation. I wasn't gonna just hand you a dismissal. You had to earn it. So, how do you feel about your accomplishment, what you got done? You should be very proud of yourself, ma'am. It is the order of this court that Ms. Lynn, whose violation was only ever to try to get the community service done, right?
That's correct.
All the other terms were complete. This was just to buy her time. She's done really well. It's the order of this court that the violation is dismissed. She's completed all terms, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
So she is discharged from probation. And this was a 771, right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So even more importantly, Ms. Lynn, this case is dismissed. Congratulations, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
Wilson Everett III. 22-01-352.
Good morning, Your Honor. Our Honor, we have the police department.
Stephen Lynch on behalf of the defendant. Mr. Everett, state your name.
Wilson Everett III.
All right, today's date, time set for an adjourned violation. Mr. Marana?
Yes, Your Honor. There was an admittance to use and consumption of marijuana on the week of March 25th through March 29th. Mr. Wilson has also tested positive for marijuana on April 1st, April 5th, and May the 3rd. Regarding outpatient counseling, it does appear that there is some traction with outpatient counseling where where UD was actually down for a little bit, and now he's kind of back enrolled with UD Mercy, and it looks like he is attending sessions, but I haven't received proof of it as of yet. I have been in communication with Ms. Bell, so we do have that. And then as far as there were tests as directed on March 7th, 16th, 18th, 21st, 23rd, 28th, and April the 19th and 22nd. I know in between that time there has been issues related to some leaves of absences of work, as well as a bike situation as well.
Judge, I've had a chance to discuss the matter with my client. He'll admit that he tested positive. There are some circumstances I'd like to explain after the plea. He admits that he missed some tests. He believes at least 2. There were some others where he was taking a bus to the testing facility and getting there after they closed. But he'll admit that he missed at least 2. And yes, he is back. He's in counseling. His first session is this Friday. So that he is signed up.
Okay. Mr. Everett, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes. All right, right up. Mr. Everett, you have the absolute right to a probation violation hearing. At that hearing, it would have to be established by a preponderance of the evidence, not beyond a reasonable doubt, but by a preponderance of the evidence that you violated your probation. Only then would I proceed to sentencing. By pleading guilty, there's no hearing, you go directly to sentencing. Do you understand that? Yes. Anybody promise you or threaten you in any way? Yes. It's your own choice to do this? Yes. Since I saw you last on March 6th, is it true that you tested positive for marijuana because you consumed marijuana?
Yes, I did. There was
Okay, satisfied?
Yes.
That you satisfied the plea is knowing, voluntary, and accurate, I'll accept the same recommendations.
Probation at this time, Your Honor, is recommending to serve 5 days in the Oakland County Jail forthwith, suspend the remaining 85 days in the Oakland County Jail, serve additional 20 hours of community service work while re-engaging with counseling, which I do. It does sound like Mr. Everett has done so at this time, and to continue probation as previously approved.
Mr. Lynch?
Judge, my client indicated to me his father passed on January 16th of this year, so he's been struggling with that, and because of that, he was taking the edibles to help him sleep. He's also going through a divorce, and recently separated from not only his wife, but his children. There's been a lot of emotional phone calls at night, that's causing him some of the stress. He's gainfully employed at IVP, he's getting back into school, he starts June 11th at CTU, he's continuing his education, so there's a lot of positives going on. And he is re-enrolled in counseling. I just ask that you continue with probation at this point.
We've never been in compliance. I'd like to think pretty patient with Mr. Everett. We've had conversations about marijuana before. If it is a medical type issue, then there's a way to handle that the right way while on probation. And so I guess that's my frustration is only that. Did we approach very Go ahead.
Judge, may we pass the matter or?
Why don't you just talk to him for a second?
They process you and then they say, that's how the program starts. You can't get special accommodations. Would he report now?
No.
Okay. You want to take to report this year?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I think we're ready.
Okay. All right. Anything else before this court closes sentence?
Judge, based on our conversation at the bench, I ask court to consider more than 60 days on a work release terminate his probation.
Is there anything you'd like to say before this court closes sentence?
Well, I'd like to say, throughout this whole thing, I've learned a lot about myself. It's mainly about, I keep stuff inside. And prospect, the counseling that I went to, those guys, that was before he passed, but he was sick at the time. That helped him. And I'm totally alone, no mom, no dad. All I got is my kids, and she's keeping them away. But I need that counseling, anything. I need my time. I'm building up my time besides private school. I got another job coming. I got another job coming, and I'm working at a job. So I see myself having my degree 2026. Straight A's right now. I go back next month. And everyone needs counseling anyway, but I need counseling. I need time. So just keep going over. Keep on my thoughts. Do what you want to do, man. I will write a phone with you folks to let people know. It's hard, man, but the easiest thing to do is for me to, well, I try to make appointments to get to my appointments. I'm a person that hate to be late. But it's just a little hard, but I right back in there. I'm on time person. It just looks like I'm not. I just need more time to just keep going. And my son cried to me all last night. All pops, you know. I don't sleep until 3 in the morning. Get up at 6. Go to work. Come home. Can't sleep till 3 in the morning every day. Get up, bus every day. Even when I try to sleep, even with the effort, sometimes. I just know that the constant work for anyone, and I'm gonna go even after probation. I thank y'all, because I have never known that, because like most people come to me for. Even when I got a hard thing, I stopped drinking before this case. Year and a half before this case. So I'm being tested out of this. But I feel like I know I passed the planning cards. You know, get done with this. I just need counseling, and I want you.
So, Mr. Everett, I think you hit on a chord there, a real truth that is one of the great challenges, I think, for humanity is too many people in this world would rather continue to try to do the same thing over and over again without positive results, rather than just ask for help. Now, Mr. Everett, I'd like to think that Mr. Marana and myself, that you know, we try to see that there's more to you than the violations, than the case that brought you here. And so I hope that you at least got that feeling, that sense that, you know, we saw you as, you know, a person with, you know, that there's something here, you know, that there's a real, authentic, raw reality that you have to live that I think obviously that I only have just the tip of the iceberg as to what you have to deal with. Yeah. But the counseling is crucial. Yes. I don't want you standing in front of another judge ever again. Yeah, this didn't end end exactly the way that we wanted, but that doesn't mean that there can't be a happy ending to the story. There absolutely can be. You complete this work release program, then you don't have to go to jail. You can put this behind you, and most importantly, coming out of this, what's the thing that you learned the most coming out of this is exactly what you just told me. That in order for you to be healthy and safe, you need to be in counseling. Yes. And that's not a sign of weakness. Being without it keeps you weak. Keeps you a lesser version of you. So stop living that life. All right, it's the order of this court that you be discharged from probation without improvement. It's 60 days jail, 1 day credit, but he'll make him work release eligible. He can turn himself in. Mr. Marana, you'll pick a date with him. That will give you a chance to get you the documentation for work. Work release isn't like it used to be years ago where you go to work and then come back and spend the night in jail. It's actually like a virtual tether. So you have to go to work and you have to go home, which probably is exactly where you need to be right now anyway. So I will make it a condition of his work release though that he continues on the UD counseling, which he could do whether he's on probation or not, right?
Yes.
Okay, so continue UD counseling. So as long as you follow their rules and continue your counseling, then you won't have to go to jail, Mr. Everett. All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you very much, guys.
The only thing, Your Honor, I guess just as a piece of advice, there is a bench warrant for the 43rd District Court, maybe to clear that prior to his term and dates.
You'll want to do that for sure. Which court was that out of?
40.
Hazel Park. So basically, get with Mr. Everett. Mr. Everett, you want to deal with Hazel Park. Once you've dealt with that, because if you don't, they'll hold you.
Yeah.
All right, that you'll walk in and they'll look and they'll see that warrant and they won't give you work release, they'll just hold you.
Okay.
So I can delay his turn-in date for a couple weeks, but you need to deal with that right away, okay? All right, I'll note that you, Mr. Everett, to select turn-in date with Mr. Morano. All right, good luck, Mr. Everett.
Thank you very much.
Read 22-00795.
Your Honor, one job here, but
Exactly how I said it. It's read long enough, I know I pronounced it. All right, so this is an adjourned violation, Mr. Morano?
Yes, Your Honor. Mario Morano, attorney at the probation department. Unfortunately, we do still have some problems with the diluted screens. There were diluted screens April 18th, April 25th, April 28th, 29th, May the 5th, May the 6th, and then an update to the hearing worksheets, May the 9th and May the 13th as well, Your Honor. We did switch testing agencies to results. At our last appointment, I'm sorry, our last court hearing, I should say, but we're still having kind of issues.
Some of them are pretty close, though.
Yes.
So like 425, 55, I'm not even counting those as dilutes.
Right.
I don't even count those as dilutes. She's right there. And so since May 6th, which is 14.9, which is still pretty close. So
There was May the 9th and May the 13th as well, Your Honor.
are they dilute too?
They are 14.2 of the creatinine level as on May the 9th and then 12.3 on May the 13th.
She was. Okay, Mr. Gonzalez?
Your Honor, I did have a chance to speak with my client. She's not testing.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. All right, please begin. All right, Mr. Burke, you have the right to a probation violation hearing. At that hearing, it would have to be established by a preponderance of the evidence, not beyond a reasonable doubt, but by a preponderance of the evidence that you violated your probation. Only then would I proceed to sentencing by pleading guilty. There's no hearing, we go directly to sentencing. Do you understand that? Is there anybody promise you or threaten you in any way? It's your own choice to do this? Okay. Is it true that we continue to have dilute screens? All right, satisfied?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
I too am satisfied that please knowing voluntary and I could all accept the same. So you're recommending the alternative testing?
Correct, Your Honor. I know the ETG or the hair test for an ETG screen is on the expensive side.
Do we know how reliable that's the one I have, like the PET test I have a little bit more confidence in, but the 90-day look back on ETG, I haven't heard. Ms. Linke, are you aware?
Judge, I don't know of actual numbers, but we have utilized it in the past.
Okay. The PET test, I know because not only have we used it, but I know HBRP uses that. And that's very, very effective. And it's just, if we did one of those every 3 weeks, given the amount of money she spends, that's 9 tests. So she would do 9 tests in that 3-week time frame. And how much is it per test?
Around $20, so it would be 61 to 180.
180.
So it'd be
So
actually,
Mr. Reeve, you're spending 180 for every 3 weeks and getting really no credit for it because you're here for another violation and this dilute screen's not working the way we want. A PET test goes back about 21 days and that's 169. So if she just does one of those every 3 weeks, then we don't have to worry about, but the problem is that's a blood draw though.
correct.
What about a silver link moving forward? We did have a conversation about that.
We've had issues with silver link before.
I think it was with their employer, but
Has that changed?
He's gone.
Yeah, the one who like wrote me out, he can go to a different location, but I did like ask Mr. Graham to move to like an earlier time, because right now my time is at 12 p.m. So if you want me to be there by like 8 a.m. And also a DAPS test is $13 a week. $53 a week, and I'm paying $60 a week, because the $20 ones I go twice a week get results. And then during the weekend I go to adapt, which is
Did you go to adapt for all of her tests?
well, that was
That was
the
the-
before, because it took like an hour for me to drop.
That's right. That's right. This is
Yeah, so
this is the wall that we're running into.
correct. The last time we were in court, Your Honor, we did want to move Ms. Reeve to the results location in Troy because she was residing in Troy with the thought of her getting to the testing facility at an earlier time,
But it's
which,
more expensive.
yes, which
Yeah.
unfortunately she hasn't. We spoke about it that, that was the reason for the switch over is to get there at an earlier time because she had to go all the way across town for her work. But I mean, I know Ms. Reeve is 1144, 1143, 1128, 1203.
Okay, she's doing her counseling though.
She is.
And she's doing her sport cleaning.
That's correct.
And frankly, man, with the testing challenges we've had, like, we would have gone with some level of incarceration long ago, but for the fact that you're doing your meetings, you're doing your counseling. So every meeting you go to, every counseling session you've gone to has basically given me justification to hold the line, to not just jump forward with some type of jail sentence. So I'm very grateful that you're doing those things, and I hope they're helping. Are they?
Yeah, most definitely. I just started as a therapist in the beginning of March. It took a while to find the right one, but I think she's a really good one.
We could try the hair test. I mean, that's the other thing too, is that's 90 days. It's one hit, you'd have to save the money to do it, but it's one test every 90 days. Or go back to the silver link if she's in a better position with your employer. Mr. Brown is recommending one more adjournment on this.
Yes, to adjourn the sentencing hearing for either the hair test or the PET test.
I'm okay with the silver link if she wants to try it again.
Okay.
But you know your work situation better than I, Mr. Reed. So I would love to get us to the place where, I mean, we've had one review where we're like last September, that was really good. And I know she's working. I know she's putting effort into this. So I don't want her to continue to have this sort of defeated feeling when you come to court, but I also need to have what I expect of everybody, which is consistent, reliable results for testing. So I'm going to keep that door open. Silver link, fine. Hair ETG, fine. I don't care. But the ETGs, you got to get there like 8 in the morning, I think, to get the results that we're looking for. And if you can't do that, then these other options have to be taken advantage of. Okay.
Right, that was the thing that I told him too in the past, like from our last appointment, is that because the time is at 12 p.m. But if like I wake around 9, so between 9 and like.
Are they only open at 12?
I only have like.
No, we gave her the stipulation that she had only, which she was AM testing only, so before 12. So anytime before 12, and we did have the conversation that.
So we got to do it before 9.
Correct. And we did have that conversation at our probation appointments to make sure that, I know Ms. Reef indicated that she had a cup of coffee and about 20 ounces of water before she goes in, and that might be leading to it. And as just an update, I have been in communication with the sponsor as well, and she did indicate that Ms. Reef is working very well with her as well.
Okay, so I'm just going to adjourn the sentencing 60 days. And then we'll keep trying.
For the sober device, Your Honor, would you like us to read for 3 or 3? Okay.
So adjourn the sentencing 60 days. She keep working on testing. Because we can get that testing schedule, like everything else is in place.
Yes.
I mean, she still has to do some community service, I think, but just a couple hours. She's not that far away. So, Mr. Rafe, I think we're close. We just gotta keep trying to tweak this, and then hopefully we can start to draw this to an end. That's my goal with you, Mr. Rafe, is that we got the meetings, we got the counseling in place. We've got so many good things going on with her. If we could just close out this one last piece when it comes to testing, then we can move off probation, right? Because we're supposed to be done in September, right? I'd like to be done a little sooner than that. So let's see what we can do at the next review, okay? All right, good luck. Good luck. Marcellus Register. Mr. Register here?
Not had contact with
Mr. Register?
So, Your Honor, I haven't had contact with Mr. Register as well. I did talk with his attorney that represented him, Ms. McEvans, at his last appointment, or his last court hearing, and she said that she was gonna be on it. I let her know about warrants, but I have attempted to call Mr. Register.
Did you notify the attorney for this though?
I did,
Because we sent notice to Daniel Reed, who says Ms. McEvans last time.
correct, and I did give a call to Ms. McEvans, and I spoke with Ms. McEvans as well about this upcoming court hearing. I can follow up with Ms. McEvans as well.
Okay, this is the last adjournment. I'll adjourn this 30 days, send notice to the defendant and to Ms. McEvans. Now, he was discharged contingent on this community service verification, right? And
It was the,
bench warrants?
yeah, it was primarily the bench warrants. We had the community service work, so it was just the bench warrants at this time. So we do have we had to prove the community service, so.
So he still has outstanding bench warrants, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So, yeah, let Ms. McEvans know that we're gonna be sending her notice as well, but we need to have, that's gotta be done.
Yes.
Mr. Burrier?
Ready.
I'm gonna grab Mr.
Juan Gonzalez Perry on behalf of Mr. Burrier, who's approaching.
Tracy?
Good morning, Your Honor. Emily Tracy, appearing on behalf of probation.
All right, today's date time set for violation. What are the allegations?
So the allegations are in regards to Mr. Berger's first case with us. He did not complete the 45th mental health court within the terms of probation and failed to pay his remaining balance.
Is he still working with them?
So he is still working with them. I did have contact with Peel Ruffles on May 6th. He did have a setback recently, but is back in compliance. Is expected to graduate in August of this year.
Okay, so.
Yeah, Your Honor, he was in rehab for a little period, and he is still in the program at 45th. He just needs some more time. I think the recommendation is just adjourn it out so you can complete and satisfy that requirement.
So the second I sent over to them, correct? No, so did I send any cases over to him?
No cases were formally sent over, so pretty good.
Okay, so all that's happening in our case is just follow through on their rules.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And he just needs a little bit more time to do that.
He does.
Okay. Earlier, I knew going into this that there would be stops and starts, there would be ups and downs, peaks and valleys, okay? That over time, the hope would be that they start to level out a little bit. So instead of having that up and down reality, that you have a more sort of peaceful existence going forward. But in order to get there, it's hard. You have to do things every single day to take care of yourself. You have to stay locked in. You have to be willing to step outside your comfort zone. So I'm not worried about this at all as far as any particular setbacks. It comes more time. As long as he's willing to fight for himself, as long as he's willing to continue to do that, I'll give him time. So when do they think he'll be done?
So P.O. Ruffles stated that August 19th is his expected graduation date.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that just adjourns. I'll adjourn these for review or review/violation. Okay. If he's done on the 21st of August, so he's got his graduation on the 18th?
19th.
19th, okay. So he graduates on the 19th. I'll set this for August 21st. If we get word that he's graduated, I'll dismiss the violation, and then he's got a balance on these files, but I'll put him on a payment plan, but I'll close out these files, okay? So that you don't have to worry about like what's gonna happen at my violation. I'm telling you what's gonna happen at your violation. You graduate on the 19th, on the 21st, and I can do that via Zoom. If he's graduated, I'm not gonna make him come back here in person. So log in via Zoom, we'll celebrate your graduation, hooray, and then I'll put you on a payment plan after that. Fair?
Sounds great.
Okay, all right.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I've been going to AA like every day, so I am fighting for it now, you know? It took a while for me to get on board, but AA, going to meetings every day is really, it's been a positive thing for me, instead of being negative with all the other stuff I've done in the past, like, you know, drinking. It's a positive thing. It's, I look forward to it every day. If I don't go to a meeting every day, it's the itch, you know, that I got to be at a meeting.
And
because this is what it does.
And your shares would be incredibly powerful. Yeah. Like when you interact with the people there, obviously they bring something to the table for you, but you do it for them too. Mm-hmm. Now, he just needs a little bit more time, happy now. All right. For sure. So I'll set this for a violation and hopefully final review August 21st.
Thank you.
All right, good luck,
Your Honor.
Doesn't hold.
He just walks out. He just stuck up. Okay. Right.
Theodore Emerson, 2301-062.
Morning, Your Honor. Sally Keeper, we have the police department.
Morning, Your Honor. Juan Gonzalez, parent behalf of Mr. Emerson, present, standing to my left, state your name, correct?
All right, today's date time set for violation. What are the allegations?
Judge, this is new violation. Violation from March 27th was adjourned to today for compliance. We do have new violations. Mr. Emerson tested positive for cocaine at 709 nanograms on April 11th, positive for cocaine 344 nanograms on April 27th, and positive for THC at 83 nanograms on May 1st. And also, since you saw him last, he's failed to comply with some random tests. Since March 27th, he missed April 8th, April 10th, where he tested on April 11th positive for cocaine, April 15th, tested on the 16th negative, April 23rd, April 25th, tested positive for cocaine on the 27th, and May 3rd, in addition, May 13th, he tested on May 14th, and that test is pending.
Okay, I want to pass this one.
Okay.
I wanna pass this one. Okay, Mr. Everson, just have a seat for a second, okay? It won't be long. I'm gonna finish the whole matter real quick, okay? Before I bring the students, okay?
Yes.
22-00462, people versus Desmond Hope.
Good morning, Preston Young, apparently have solution department.
Ready, Your Honor, Long Gonzalez, Mr. Hogue, present, my left statement.
Desmond Hope.
All right, today's date time set for violation. What are the allegations?
Yes, the new allegations are that the defendant has failed to comply with random alcohol testing as directed. Since last hearing on February 7th, the defendant has missed screens on March 4th, March 22nd, April 1st, April 5th, April 15th, April 26th, May 3rd, and May 6th. And I know at the last court date, he was told to contact probation for any missed tests. I've only been contacted one time during that for testing purposes. He has contacted me regarding other things, but for testing, just the one time.
You set up a specific testing.
He's currently testing on Mondays and Fridays, or supposed to.
Is he contesting the allegation?
Your Honor, he is not contesting, but he does have explanation.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Please put your hand up. All right, Mr. Hogue, you have the right to a probation violation hearing. At that hearing, it would have to be established by a preponderance of the evidence, not beyond a reasonable doubt, but by a preponderance of the evidence that you violated your probation. Only then would I proceed to sentencing. If I plead guilty, there's no hearing. We go right to sentencing. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Anybody promise you or threaten you in any way?
No.
It's your own choice to do this?
Yes.
All right. Is it true that that you missed eight screens since I saw you last in February? Is that true?
Yes.
All right. And is it also true that you did not contact probation for all of those missed tests?
Yes.
Okay, satisfied?
Satisfied.
I too am satisfied with pleas no involuntary and accurate. I will accept the same recommendation.
Separation recommending serve 10 days in open county jail forthwith and continue to hold 20 days jail. Continue probation as previously ordered and start reviewing 45 days. Then further have the defendant contact probation on the day that he's supposed to test if he's not able to test that day.
Your Honor, I would just ask to hold that jail off. He is now employed at a restaurant. He's been promoted to a sous chef. I think he needs to do a little more accreditation that would be out of state. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's very corporate trainings and Anderson stuff. If I didn't, they pushing it back because my back is messed up right now.
The reasons he's indicated me for this test, there's some medical issues. I believe he was communicative with probation with that, but he does understand he still has to follow up, be in better communication with probation. We did discuss SoberLink. I think he was on it for a little bit while he was traveling. Just as the court considered putting him back on a SoberLink device.
My approach, I do have some of his medical documents and it's
And I believe my partner will say something as well.
Okay, so as we spoke last time, I was finishing culinary school. My last day was April 28th, but since I was one, everything is date stamped on paperwork, but I wasn't able to walk across the state because my back was on that stuff. So I missed the opportunity. And ever since then, like literally, it's been a struggle even put more in time my shoes. I got me on this medicine, and I got all this stuff in my bag. I had steroids and stuff that caused extreme drowsiness. I'm talking like sleeping 10 hours a day. And I did contact them. I don't know what's going to email. I was sending emails from 3 different emails. I know for a fact, every time I get emails back from her, I respond. So it's not like I'm, not getting emails back. Other than that, it's just been this issue. I just got MRI Friday, and I should have results either today or tomorrow, and that way to go and fix the issue. They're 95% sure it's a pinched nerve, but they can't do nothing to get the MRI results. And I have physical therapy scheduled for the 21st of this month. But so once I get the results, they'll know how to attack that. And like the guy, my doctor, the primary care physician and the specialists are saying, like, once they know where the pinched nerve at, it will literally be a couple times physical therapy and it's knocked out. Now, I don't mind being on the sober link, but I am in the kitchen, 8-9 hours a day. So I did mention you say something earlier about like some kind of blood test. I don't mind getting my blood drawn and play sports. I've been getting blood drawn my whole life. So if that's an option, I would most likely rather do that than trying to take a break from the kitchen when we slammed or whatever it may be, trying to go throwing something I can't.
Set up a PET test every 21 days. All right, that should take us, that should handle the time frame. Last time I saw you, I said, any of those tests, we had to contact probation. I was adjourned the sentencing one last time. And at the time that I made that statement, I basically said to myself, if he doesn't do this, then I'm just going to discharge him and send him to jail. I am taking into consideration those and the health issues that you have. Mr. Hogue, I hope that you see that there's not many places that would have been as patient with all the different challenges that we've been presenting. I'd like to think that because of the way that we handled it, you're able to finish culinary school rather than having to stop doing your culinary school. You have this opportunity now. If this blood test works, then that'll be enough. And so I'll set this for a violation sentencing / final review in September. So if we have no issues between now and September, then I can discharge him with improvement and dismiss the violation and call this a day. If there's issues, then the court can look at putting Mr. Hogue in jail. I don't want to, he's just getting started. But this PET test should be able to make it so that he can actually go to work. He doesn't have to have a sober link on him, he doesn't have to have a tether on him. But Mr. Hogue, obviously, as being a cook, you have to be very careful with alcohol around the kitchen with this, okay? All right, and just make sure that that won't be an excuse if it shows you with a positive, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck, Mr. Hogue.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. Is that a message here? Morning, students. Okay, so the students I did have on Monday, London and Liam and AJ. Are they here today? Do I have London here today? There's London this morning. Do we have Liam here? Okay, good. Because everybody else's names I have memorized, so I just have to put a name, a face to a name. So welcome, Liam, glad to have you. Welcome, London, glad that you're here as well. Did you give them their assignments? Did they memorize their words too? Okay, good. All right, students, I'm gonna call on you cases, and then I'll call on a few students after that to see who's got their words ready to go, okay? All right. All right, we call on Mr. Emerson. 23-0.
He's outside talking to somebody.
Okay, I can pass that for a moment then. As soon as Mr. Gonzalez comes back. Do you have anything ready?
I do. Baker, Antoinette Baker.
Antoinette Baker. So that is case number 22-01853, Antoinette Baker.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elizabeth has Judge Derek Meinecke on probation.
Stephen Lynch on behalf of the defendant.
Ms. Baker, state your name, please.
Antoinette Baker.
All right, Ms. Baker was placed on this court's probation for a operating while visibly impaired and open alcohol in a motor vehicle. What are the allegations? I guess I saw her last Valentine's Day, February 14th.
Yes, yes.
I told her at that time we had a violation. She needed to improve her testing, make sure she made all of her appointments. Are there any new allegations?
Yes, Judge. So, Ms. Baker did have a positive test on her sober device on February 20th. At 7:27 a.m. Her BAC was 0.030. And then she failed to submit to retest on the SoberLink with declined photos submitted. So she was not the person who submitted the retest.
Do you have the pictures?
I do.
Judge, we're not disputing that, so.
I could have a moment, I just have to locate it.
That's fine. She's not contesting the allegation.
That's positive because of Listerine when she brushed her teeth, she panicked and she had her daughter.
Okay, please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yeah.
All right, please put your hand up. All right, Ms. Baker, you have the absolute right to a probation violation hearing. At that hearing would have to be established by a preponderance of the evidence, not beyond a reasonable doubt, but by a preponderance of the evidence that he violated your probation. Only then would I proceed to sentencing. By pleading guilty, there's no hearing, we go directly to sentencing. Do you understand that?
Yeah, sure.
Anybody promise you or threaten you in any way? It's your own choice to do this?
Yes.
Is it true that you had a positive test on your SoberLink?
Yeah.
Is it true that you had somebody else blow into your SoberLink device?
Yeah.
Okay, satisfied?
Yes.
Are you satisfied to use no involuntary? That's the same? 1 second. All right, recommendation?
There was, we did have 30 days jail suspended. So at this time, probation is recommending to serve 10 days jail forthwith, the Oakland County Jail suspended range 25, retain scrape till the 24 hours release. And then you are actually, we can strike the support committees, they did receive updated support committees from the.
So she has been going to support committee.
Yes, she has been doing that.
What about counseling?
So when we had our last appointment, she had told me that she had found a location and she did an intake, but it appeared to be a addiction center. So she's not ordered to enroll with substance abuse counseling, just outpatient counseling in general. And so the person she saw informed her that she wouldn't need to be there again for another 3 months. So I don't know if that was a good fit.
No, not
It was specifically an addiction center in the state of Georgia. So I told Ms. Baker, I said, maybe that might not be a good fit to continue to look to other places. So she did have an intake is what she told me.
We need to be connected with counseling resources, that's important, as she's trying to manage all her different things, not just the support process, but everything that she has going on in her life. She needs to make sure that she's talking to the counselor. Mr. Lynch, obviously, they're recommending 10 days. The behavior of having the child blow into the SoberLink is obviously unacceptable, whatever the reason. What are your arguments that you have on her behalf?
Judge, first of all, on her behalf, I would indicate she drove up here from Georgia, so I give her credit for even coming up to deal with this. She's not surprised by the recommendation. One of the things we talk about is the period of playing the tape all the way through. We discuss that, so when you're gonna make decisions in your life, play that tape all the way through and give yourself a logical end result. She didn't do that with her daughter, she can't. She has 6 kids, ranging from the age of 2 to 15, it's just her and her father down there. So she works at the airport, Shake Shack at the Atlanta, can't remember, Hartfield, I can't remember the name of the airport down there. So she's employed, she's trying to take care of her kids. I do give her credit for coming up there, she could have just blown this off, for lack of a better way of saying it, and just let the bench warrant sitting out there. I'm gonna ask that you not impose incarceration, see how she does. Give her the extra community service. I've talked to her about the fact that she's got to do this community service at least 7 weekends. She's got to find time. If somebody trying to watch the kids, she's got a 15-year-old, they could probably watch the kids if she has to go and do some hours. She's got to be doing that. So I'm asking you not impose it. She doesn't dispute, nor did she with me, that obviously a really bad decision in a moment. So that's why we talk about playing the tape all the way through.
She had a positive test before?
No, she's not.
The judge's level is pretty low. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Listerine issue, but it was done in the morning and it will test positive.
Well, that's just it. And my only concern is the default to go into the daughter. Like like that was her choice of action, was to just so you know, the frustrating part for me is the way the SilverLink device works. That's why they want you to do a retest, because if you had consumed alcohol, like drank a beer or had a glass of wine or something like that, well, that's in your system. So you blow into that device, it would generate a positive result, all right, from breath alcohol, from your lungs, okay? And then 15 minutes later, it would still be there, okay? If it's Listerine or something else that someone puts in their mouth, that's only in your mouth. And that dissipates, which is why in 15 minutes, if you would have blown into it, if it was a Listerine event, it would have been zeros. Can I see that? That should be a 15-minute rolling retest. I've never.
The rolling retest is the ignition.
No, what I mean is that I refer to it as rolling retest, but it's the same basic thing, the same basic concept. In 15 minutes, they do a retest.
Yeah, she is testing through Smart Start, so it's 2 minutes.
Yeah, the retest is 2 minutes.
The retest is 2 minutes.
Then it continues.
I think it continues testing until you hit zeros.
So if she would have tested at 2 minutes, it might still have been there. But by 15 minutes, so a SilverLink through house arrest is 15 minutes, and Smart Start is 2 minutes. Same device, but it's a 2-minute turnaround. When's the next negative test that we have from her?
I'm sorry, and I lost the page, I apologize. 12 p.m.
So you would not have provided a negative screen again until noon. That's a problem. Yeah, there's a lot of so this testing apparatus can get a little confusing, and so that's why we like to have these well explained up front. I mean, even now, I thought you were testing, and the retest was 15 minutes later. And for house arrest SilverLink, that's what it does. But she's out of state, so they had to use Smart Start. So 2 minutes later that would have been a tough moment for sure.
So
yes.
Your Honor, just looking at the time. So the initial test violation was at 7:27, and then it requested at 7:29. This is picture requested, and then 7:29, 46 seconds in was her daughter who tested, and then 7:29:57 was negative.
At 7. Well, 7:29 would have been her daughter blowing into it.
Right, but then it was like a few seconds later, it looks like there was an initial test or initial positive pass test. So it looks like it was zero there shortly after.
Which involved her daughter.
Right.
Okay, so the problem is that since you're going to stay on the Smart Start, I want you to know this. Like, say you would have tested 2 minutes later and it would have been positive, they would have had to do another test, they would have had to do another and another, okay? As long as it got down to zeros within 15 minutes, I would have been fine. Because if you drink alcohol, it would be impossible for it to get out of your system in 15 minutes. If you use Listerine, it definitely would be out of your system in 15 minutes, all right? Because you didn't consume any alcohol, it was only in your mouth, okay? So that helps provide some context to this. And she hasn't had any positive tests before, so this would have been the first time for her to react to something like
Correct.
this. Okay. All right. Okay. Is there anything you'd like to say, ma'am, before this court imposes a sentence?
Yeah, I'm not messing.
See, the issue though for me is, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Listerine.
But it really was.
I understand that, but
Swear to God. It was
There-
Listerine.
there's been lots
I
of,
swear.
there's a lot of people who come to that podium and say the exact same thing, swear the same oath, and they're not telling you the truth, but what you're saying, you know, it does make some sense, which is why I'm not necessarily inclined to go along with the 10 days recommended, okay? But involving your daughter, that's unacceptable. Okay, that can't happen, and that's because I think it's important for you to have a discussion with her later about, hey, if something comes up in life, you know, you take accountability for it. You don't try to get others involved in your, you know, in your negative situation or try to get them, because if you don't go home and address that with her, how old is your daughter? 15? Okay.
She said she has a lot of those daughters. I think her involved was a 15.
But that daughter, how old is she? Is she 15? Okay. This is a crucial moment, and you don't want her impression of someone being on probation. You want her to know that like she's a part of your success, not a reason why you're getting around things. You know, you don't want that lesson to be happening from this. Okay. Okay, so rather than have her do the 10 days of jail, what we're going to do, because once again, the behavior is not just the Smart Start, but getting your daughter involved in this. She's to serve 1 day in jail, but I'm going to work this out in a way. See, Mr. Lynch, if I give her 1 day in jail, normally, if it was a Royal Oak case, she could just be housed overnight at the Royal Oak jail. It's a Berkeley case, which means that she would be housed instead at the Oakland County Jail, which is what I'm trying to avoid. Have her locked up and have her taken up to the county. She'd be released at the county. Her vehicle's probably here. Okay, but there needs to be some impact from her decision, and so she'll be placed in handcuffs now, but she'll be left in the court holding cell till the end of the day. And then you'll be released today. All right, so what I want you to though understand is that I didn't have to do any of this. I could have given you the 10 days for what happened, but I listened to the circumstance, I listened to what you were going through. And I just need you to tell me that you understand from this moment going forward while you're on the Smart Start. If it comes up positive, don't freak out immediately. It could be mouth alcohol. It could be something in your mouth, and just keep taking the tests to get it to zeros. And then I'm going to look, ma'am, and I'm gonna see, okay, it was within 15 minutes, then I know that it wasn't a drinking event. And then you won't even be violated for it, all right? But also tell me that you'll have a conversation with your daughter, like I did wrong on that one, and I won't involve you in something like this before, because I want you to see your mom be a success. And I want to see all the good things that we're doing, all right? And in fact, I would probably recommend for our next review, because I have confidence in this bakery, we'll have a review and we'll do it from Georgia. Have your daughter log in with you, have her sit with you, so I can tell her all the amazing things that you're doing, because I don't want her to have this be your only impression of you and the way you answer your obligations. I want her to be able to say, hey, your mom's been doing this, been doing this, been doing this, has been doing a great job. Can you do that for me? All right, so we'll place her in custody now, but we will get you on your way back to Georgia. Understood?
Judge, there's your one time checks on the back.
Where's that at? Okay, sir, she'll be released at 3 o'clock today. All right, and then she'll be able to get on her way back home again. Okay? All right, good luck. And she'll continue on the Smart Start.
Okay, you're in a 45 days?
45 days. Yeah, just come right back to the courtroom here at 3 o'clock, all right? And then she'll be out at that time, okay?
Sunshade Floyd.
All right, 23-00293, Sunshine Floyd.
Morning, Your Honor, Mr. Beckler, hearing behalf of probation.
Good morning, on behalf of the defendant.
Ms. Floyd, state your name, please.
Sunshine Floyd.
All right, today's date and time set for actually an adjourned violation sentencing. So last time we were here, March 27th, she pled guilty to a violation and I held off on sentencing at that time. She's on probation for operating while physically impaired. I did want her to engage with the Seeking Safety Program, correct?
Yes.
All right, and then she's supposed to do a once-a-week meeting with you and continue her testing and do twice a month support group meetings.
Yes.
Okay, so what's my update?
So there's actually several updates. Since the last time we were here, Ms. Floyd did miss probation oversight meetings with me on April 8th, April 22nd, April 29th. So since this was written, I was eventually able to meet with Ms. Floyd on May 8th for an official appointment. We kind of discussed everything at that time. She had informed me that she's overwhelmed with balancing all the things that she's trying to complete in her life. What's interesting is though, even though I didn't see her from March until May, in between that time, even though we weren't meeting, she completed the MAD Victim Impact Panel, she completed her community service hours in full. And she's been attending her support group meetings, so it's kind of like she was doing stuff, but she was not meeting with me, and she acknowledges that she missed all of those meetings. So we did have a conversation about that.
So some good, and then obviously the challenge with the not meeting. Ms. Floyd, so as far as the Seeking Safety Program.
So I did get an update of that, so it looks like, yep, so this.
I mean, no, I didn't intake my, go in.
So this is the third time that this is gonna be rescheduled. So I want you,
she missed her last one. I did get notice of that, and they rescheduled her for a final time on May 22nd.
So if she doesn't show up on May 22nd, they'll kick her out of that program.
Yes.
And then if you get kicked out of that program, then we're gonna have some challenges, okay? I've adjourned this sentencing to try to get you back on track. I know you're overwhelmed, Ms. Floyd. That was the point. That was the point of you meeting with Ms. Esdale. Is so that you could go in and have in the storm of your life, because there's a lot going on and you get pulled in many different directions. I wanted you to have one hour where you could sit with someone who's gonna help you try to organize it. And by missing those meetings, that means that, my biggest fear for you is the chasing. Like if you're chasing in much different directions, eventually it all falls. And I don't want that for you, okay? So that's why those meetings with her are crucial. It's not that those aren't even meant to be an additional challenge for you. It's supposed to be a safe haven so you can try to organize the craziness of your life, because it is very busy now. I know that. All right. So Ms. Esdale?
I was just gonna add, so her and I did have a conversation about just organizational skills in general. I talked to her about that. She's got a job she's working full time now, and she's trying to balance all the things. And she acknowledged that she needs better organizational skills. I suggested using a calendar, a planner, a reminder on the phone, things like that.
So, Mr. Lynch, the reason that, at least for me, to try to get her better organized is that I know that drinking event that we had back, I think it was in March, was motivated by her feeling overwhelmed financially and emotionally with everything that she's got going on. So I don't want her to be in a position where, I don't want you to be in a position where you're stressed so that you go back to alcohol. Because you've come so far and you've pushed through so many things, Ms. Floyd. So it's not all bad here. So I want to make sure we focus on the fact that, yes, she's doing her meetings, right?
She is, and the testing has been better. The last test she submitted, she was negative on May 9th. So there are some negative testing here. It's sporadic, I know, but there's effort.
Okay, so Mr. Lynch, they're recommending to adjourn this as we continue to try to get back in full compliance. What are your thoughts?
I would ask them to do so.
Ms. Floyd, I want you to know that you're hearing directly from me. This isn't a situation where I'm sitting there going, why can't she get it together? My feeling right now is we are so close to getting it all together. And sometimes that feels, in those moments, it feels like we're still really far apart, but I'm telling you, we are very close. What do you think?
I think I'll do the meeting with the drama group and I new hand too.
The only other thing, Your Honor, she has to get back in with is with counseling, and her and I did speak about it. So it sounds like her insurance was cut off for a period of time, which is why she couldn't continue with outpatient counseling, which she was doing through Easter Seals. But she did tell me that it's back on now and that she's gonna reschedule an appointment with her counselor.
Okay.
To get back on track with that.
So let's bump this another 45 days, okay? So here's what I want though. Her recommendation was the weekly meetings were gonna be really hard for you to meet, and that she thought she could still get what you needed, the two of you needed to get accomplished in twice a month meetings. Right, is that what you're asking for?
So, Your Honor, I believe at the last court date, you had ordered 2 times a month meetings with probation, unless I wrote it down.
I have it written here. So is the once a week meeting the support group meetings that she's going to?
Yes,
Okay.
yep, so that, and then I believe you had ordered that she meet with me twice a month.
Okay, are you good with that?
That's fine.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Can you meet with her?
Yes.
Can you make that happen?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So don't miss that 22nd date for seeking safety. Okay. Keep going to your support group meetings, which I think is helping. All right. Meet with her twice a month so you can, and come in there with a list of questions like, hey, am I doing everything I'm supposed to be doing? What else what else do I need to know? Are there any resources that can help me? Because she also could be a source of resources for you. Different community resources that can help take this load off of your shoulders, Ms. Floyd, because a lot of this is falling on you. So, okay. I want to leave on a positive note, which is we're better today than we were before, and we've got a plan to be even better the next time. So I'll see you back here in 45 days. And if she's doing well, She can even do this one on Zoom. Okay? That'll save you the time of coming down here. Good luck. Feels really confident that they know their 2 words. Who feels really confident that they have both their words memorized? Nobody has their words memorized? Nobody at all? You got one? Okay, so anybody got at least one? Anybody got at least one? Okay, all right, so we'll start with, Owen, you have one? Okay, so Owen, stand up and tell me what's the one word that you feel most comfortable? Probation period, very good. So what's a probation period? Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. You had word for word. So probation period, when I put somebody on probation, usually it's going to be for 18 months or 2 years, but they will have a chance to get off probation early if they're doing a good job. Okay? Who else? Who else? Jackson? All right, Jackson, what's your word that you feel most comfortable with? Court. Court. We're in a court. What's a court? Right. We deal with people who've been charged with a crime. We deal with civil cases like the case of Jackson versus Judge Meinecke in the paint defense. Yeah. Right. So, okay. Who else? All right, Thomas. Fine.
Fine is the amount of money that a person has to pay when he or she breaks the law.
That's right. And sometimes the fines and costs can get very expensive. Like in a drinking and driving case, it's usually like $2,500 to $3,000. It's very expensive. Isaiah?
Condition of probation.
And what's a condition of probation?
The rules that can matter while you're on probation.
That's right. So as you've seen, one of the rules, of course, is that a person can't consume any alcohol. Make sure that they're not consuming alcohol. We do alcohol testing. Remember we talked about the sober link? Remember we just mentioned that on Monday about how a person has to blow into a device, and we just had to deal with one of those cases. Also, you have to meet with your probation officer, and if you don't, you can end up with a probation violation. So good job, Isaiah. Who else? Okay, Brady? Okay. Right, and so we found someone's guilty, or someone could plead guilty. Like today, we've had a couple of people that have pled guilty to violations, right? Do one more, anybody else? Eliza?
Sentencing.
That's right, so basically if someone has been found guilty or pled guilty, the sentencing is when someone finds out what their consequence is. So you're doing better than you thought. I saw a lot of this. You're doing just fine. All right, I'm going to call a few more cases and then we'll check on a few more students, okay? Okay. So
I have a quick adjournment and then
go ahead.
We call Robert Thomas.
Mr. Thomas, 23-01144. And let me just make sure everybody who's coming in. Everybody who's coming in on Zoom, we got a couple in-person court hearings, and then we'll be able to get to you. So just hit the mute button, and I'll call on you in a few minutes, okay? All right, Mr. Thomas.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elizabeth Esdale, bringing up probation.
Stephen Lynch on behalf of the defendant.
Nice. Don't see Mr. Thomas.
May we approach?
Okay. Looking at options, counseling wise, and to address this issue, and I think that I think the most appropriate thing before him right now is what he's doing, and seeking that sort of treatment. And so I will adjourn it 1 week to confirm that he is actually in that treatment. So I'm okay with the 1 week adjournment, but we have to follow through on this because I'm very concerned for Mr. Thomas, and I want to make sure that he's getting the support that he needs. So I'll adjourn this 1 week to the 22nd.
Thank you.
Confirm that he's in treatment, I would adjourn it longer if need be. Mr. Lynch?
Judge, my last one is Antoine Hunter.
All right. Hunter 23000617.
Good morning, Preston Young, here on behalf of the probation department.
Stephen Lynch, on behalf of the defendant.
Mr. Hunter, state your name. All right, today's date time set for an adjourned violation. He was placed on probation for operating while visibly impaired. I have reduced his testing last time we were here, but the expectation was that he would comply with the testing. Where do we stand?
Yeah, so we're still having trouble with testing. Since the last hearing, he has failed to appear for the screens on March 16th, March 19th, March 21st, March 28th, April 10th, April 14th, April 25th, May 2nd, and May 8th. And there is an update to the hearing worksheet. I don't know if Mr. Lynch is aware. On April 25th, I believe, he did have contact with the Farmington Hills Police Department, and he did receive a citation for driving while license suspended. So he is having a court date set for that, I believe.
Did he tell you about it?
Not right away. He told me this past Friday at our appointment. I think I asked him why.
Did he tell you before you found out about the?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And judges, you know, he's been arraigned, his pre-trial is June 20th.
George?
Your Honor, as it relates to the testing, I'm not sure if the court just wants to adjourn for your criminal behavior.
Well, I'm concerned about I told him if he couldn't make a test, then he needed to go to a meeting. All right, which he did a good job of it back in March. And he's not done such a great job since March.
The missing of the testing is strictly a monetary issue, just doesn't have why.
Which is why I gave him the outlet. I knew he had financial challenges. I have to make sure that he's not drinking, okay? That's one of my responsibilities. But I know that Mr. Hunter has financial challenges, and we talked about this. And so I said the alternative is, okay, if you're not going to be able to pay for a test, then go to a support group meeting where you be there with people who are committed to a life of sobriety. And if he showed up there intoxicated, they'd kick him out and I'd find out about it. And so that way I know he can go to a meeting, he can get the support, he can do it for free, and that will cover his failure to do a test. And he was doing that.
He was doing that for since the last quarter.
Like a really good job until March 13th. And then I saw what a good job he was doing. And so I reduced his test to make it even easier for him, hopefully, to be in compliance. But that's not happening, George.
Judge, I think he had been working 6 days a week, 7 days a week. He's now down to 4 days, 10 hours a day. So that should help with some things. They'll have to explain.
What happened with meetings?
I was working from 5 to 5:30. I was using my phone like he told me to for the alarm, but I unload trucks. If I catch a meeting at first, my boss seemed like he was on the phone. And I could take the meetings, I could do the meetings at lunchtime. After a while, I just got to the point where get this truck done first and then do the meeting. I was trying to tell him to go. And so, you know, we just found out that we're going on 4 days, Monday this week. And so, it would just be work. You know, I'm working, I'm trying to do the meeting, and just don't get around to it.
Looks like he has done some meetings, just not on the days that He's still doing this once a week, but not on the days that we need him to do it.
Yeah, I know. The particular day that I did drink was only because, yeah, my ass was talking about getting back together. Come up here, December 31st, 2023. She did not make it, so I thought she ghosted me, but come to find out she got killed. That's the only time I had a drink. I haven't had a drink then. I used to smoke marijuana. I don't even smoke anymore. And to get that money that I'm giving to people for the testing for my court costs and fines.
Mr. Hunter, so that's why I've been as flexible as I've been. Like most people, if they miss the amount of tests that you've missed, maybe I would have seen a jail sanction long ago, but I look at the person and try to figure out what's going on with their situation. And so you know that I've made different adjustments for you because I do believe that, especially you made progress with this counseling, he still has to do a particular class, if I remember right?
Marijuana education program.
But because you did the counseling, he still hasn't done that victim impact now either, right?
All of which take money.
I know, which is, again, so, Mr. Hunter, I see where you're coming from, like, hey, Judge, if you followed me around 24/7, you'd see I'm not drinking, I'm not using, okay? Which would be great in a perfect world, all right? But I don't have that type of ability to do it, so we have to use things like testing, because the testing would be able to show, hey, he's not using, all right? So you'd be able to say, Judge, I'm not using, look at my test, okay? But despite that being the preferred route, like in a perfect world, you know, like we're not in charge of these testing agencies, okay? So I can't set the price, I can't do those type of things. I wish that I could. The amount of money that people on probation have to pay, it drives me crazy. I wish that there was a way that the state would invest in this reality that, hey, if you make it cheaper for people to test, then it's easier for them to stay in compliance, then you have more people that are following the rules, you have more people who aren't getting involved with negative decisions, that's all a good thing, but unfortunately.
But you see, I've never dropped a drink for alcohol, never, just I've been tested.
I agree, you've also missed tens and tens and tens of tests. So like there are courts that would say, hey, you missed those tests, how do I know that you haven't been using and just avoiding the tests? Like, I don't look at it that way. I say, I've got Mr. Hunter who's clearly trying. And so one of the ways that we could do that is cover it with a meeting. And the thing is, Mr. Hunter, you have gotten stuff out of the meetings. You've told me as much. And you know, you're a good person. And so you're a good influence on these meetings as well, right?
Even if I don't attend a meeting, Mark speaking, I do call him on a personal level because he had me cope with a lot of stuff that I am going through. So.
Exactly. And so now again, I'm only frustrated because if you had connected the meetings with the days, I could have taken your test down even more. Like that's like, if you noticed in March, we were not on a perfect testing schedule, but I still reduced your testing because you had been doing the meetings, okay? So I understand what you're talking about though with work. That helps me know as well. Work situation did change. He went up to 7 days a week. He wasn't doing that before. And if work was pushing back on this, the only thing is that did you tell Preston about it? That you were having issues at work?
I would tell them because every time they would switch, they just switched their hours Monday. We done switched probably about 10 times this year, and then we ain't halfway through the year.
But if you do run across that situation going forward, because I really don't think we're that far from where we need to be. And we do violations because we have to. I mean, if someone's not on top of their testing and not doing their meetings like they're supposed to, we have to deal with it. We have to have a conversation. But now that we're having a conversation, that does help me figure out a way where we gotta come up with a new plan. So, I have lots to believe, Mr. Hunter, that you aren't using, okay? But I still have to hold you the same standard as anybody else. And so we just gotta come up with a way to make sure that you're meeting the standards while also not drowning. All right, and I think we can do it. And the only way we can do it is by having a conversation, but you've gotta let Mr. Young know that if you have a change in your schedule, or you're working sevens, or you're getting pushback from your boss, then he can come back and say, oh, he missed this test, he doesn't have a meeting, but I know why.
Yeah.
And then he knows before he has to fill out a violation, okay? Okay, so, Mr. Hunter, I don't, you've heard it today. There are violations where, people have new drinking events, people have, issues that they're trying to get around the system and all that kind of stuff, and I react a certain way. And then you've seen where there have been violations where like, hey, we just have to tweak a few things, and we're gonna get to where we need to go. So, I mean, Mr. Young, do you believe that Mr. Hunter as a whole is in a better position than when we started?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So let's just make a few tweaks here and you just continue to improve your communication, continue to improve your organization. And I feel like we're gonna get to a place where we're not talking about violations, we're talking about, having a review and talking about all the great things you're doing, which we're still doing today. All right?
Yeah.
All right, so. All right. Going to.
Give me, for next week, you give me 45 days, and I'm asking for 45 days so I can at least do my mother's against drunk driving, because that's gonna cost. And I could do it online for like $47.
I was gonna give you 90. Yeah. I was gonna give you 90. I mean, if you want to give me 45, but I was gonna give you 90 because I knew you're trying to save up money for that. So, no, I'm gonna adjourn the violation 90 days. I'm not. Now, he's supposed to be testing how often?
Once a week right now.
Once a week. Okay, so once a week, if you get called, you should go do a meeting, all right? If you can't do a meeting, you call him and let him know and say, hey, because of work, I couldn't do the meeting that day, but I'm doing it today.
Okay.
I do think it's a good idea. He's got, Mr. Young has a schedule, a calendar that he's proposing that you take a look at and try to use to improve your organization. I do want you to work on that with him, okay? And then I'll see you back here in 90 days. I'm not gonna add any additional community service yet. Let's see if we can get this adjustment. If he does a calendar to you, I don't need to add any community service on this, okay? All right, Mr. Hunter, I appreciate you trusting me enough to know that you can express your concerns without getting any vengeance back from me, all right? We've done some good work together. All right, I'd like to continue to do good work, all right? And you make those small adjustments, we're gonna get to where we need to go, all right? All right, see you in 90 days, good luck.
Thank you.
Is that it for you, Mr.
I
Rich?
do have a bench one, I realized. I'm gonna put that spot.
Who's that?
Adels.
Mr. Adels is not here?
Your Honor, I just called him, he didn't answer. I did speak with him last week. I don't know why he signed it.
Okay, I reached out to him. Couldn't leave a voicemail, so I did send him.
Can you get a rescheduled court date, 36?
No.
Okay. Which might not be showing up, unfortunately, because he didn't do what he was directed to do.
I did inform him, so when I talked to him last week, I did ask him if he was it. And I checked it, and there's not a new court date yet. So he told me he was gonna, I instructed him to do it by last Friday, but.
You also missed a meeting, you, right? All right. He's failed to appear, Mr. Adels, this is 23-00083. Ms. Esdale and Mr. Lynch are both here. Mr. Adels has not appeared, he's not called you?
No.
Not contacted you?
No.
All right, I'm gonna issue a bench warrant for his arrest, but if he does reach out, we can always, and it at least explains to me why he wasn't here. the court will consider setting aside the bench warrant and resetting it for an adjourned court date. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, who else knows their words? Delilah, you ready? Okay, so Delilah, can you stand up and tell me what your words? Evidence, what's evidence, Delilah? Right, so evidence is just that, something that shows that a person did what they're accused of. So that's exactly right, good job. Okay, John, right? John.
What are the words actually? When he or she,
Right there. So when a person comes in, and what do they do when they plead?
they're guilty or not guilty.
You got it. I mean, just that simple. They can walk in and they either plead guilty or not guilty. You got it, you know? All right, so who had an attorney? Does anybody have an attorney? Okay, Liam, what's yours?
A person.
You double check.
A person that has started school for 3 years after college, we got an expert in law. They can choose to teach high school higher. Would you persecute those who have the law?
Yes, you did. In fact, I know you did the first 5% of it from straight memory, which was impressive. It is a person who goes to school for 3 to 4 years after college to become an expert at law. Mr. Gonzalez is, I would say, expert at law. And then they could choose to be a prosecutor, they could do civil law like we talked about, or they could be a defense lawyer like Mr. Gonzalez does, okay? All right, good job. That's a really long definition. You did well. Who had drugs? That was one of the longest ones. Okay, all right. So Owen, did you learn that one?
Yes.
Okay, so what are drugs?
Medicine that a doctor gives you for sick. It is illegal if your doctor says it's okay to take, but some people make their own drugs or buy drugs and sell them.
And that would be illegal.
Yes.
Yes, very good. And that's a really long day. Owen, you got both your words, you nailed them, you did a great job. Well done. So students, now you had obviously you're super focused on learning your words because the Oakland students were the first class of this year that I asked to learn 2 words. Most students only have to learn 1. But they were so exceptional. When I visited with them, I said, you know what, let's see if they can do 2. And Owen just showed, yes, we can totally handle 2. And drugs, if you know, when you go back and look at your vocab list, look how long Owen's word was. That is a super long definition that you have to memorize, okay? And I'll tell you exactly why. It's number 8, okay? I'll tell you why it's so long, students. It's because it's one of the most complicated subjects that we have, not just for students, not just for teachers, but for parents, for judges, for police officers, for defense attorneys. It is very, very complicated because Owen's right, the first few lines that he said, it's oftentimes the medicine that a doctor gives you when you're sick. And that's totally legal. But if you notice, students, when you've gone to the doctors and you've gotten your medicine before, all right? And your parents have to go to like CVS or Walgreens to get it, it usually comes back in a medicine bottle. Sometimes you'll get like grape or cherry flavoring, right? Okay. But if you notice, that medicine bottle has your name on it. Nobody else's in your family, just yours. Okay. And then usually there's explanations like instructions. Take in the morning, take at night, all right, take with food. Have you ever seen that before? Where we get into trouble, students, is if people take medicine that doesn't belong to them. All right, or they take it more than they're supposed to. Well, then we don't know what's going to happen to them physically. It could be very dangerous for them. Or it could cause them to act in ways that they wouldn't normally act, especially if they're driving a car or interacting with people. If they can become violent or aggressive or, not, like I said, not be able to drive a car, that becomes dangerous and it's illegal. All right, the other way is like what Owen said, if someone goes out and buys drugs off the street, well, then we really don't know what's gonna happen to their body. It could be very dangerous. And yes, people can die, or again, become very seriously impaired, their behavior become very erratic, operate a car or do something dangerous. Again, students, it becomes very complicated. But what I'm asking all of you is, when I was in 5th grade, if I even heard the word drugs, I thought I'd get in trouble. All right, like I'm in trouble just for hearing it. Okay, that's not the case. All right, remember we talked about information being power. Right? The more information you have, the more powerful young men and women you will be. So we want to get information about this to protect ourselves. If you have a question about drugs, talk to your parents. All right, they may not have all the answers, and then they have to look it up, and you make that smart. Okay, but what we don't want to do is try to make decisions related to drugs or alcohol and not have all the information. All right, we want to protect ourselves. Can you do that for me? I'm not asking you to be an expert. I'm just asking you to go out and ask questions and make sure that you know everything you need to know to be safe. Fair? Okay. All right. I've got a couple more cases, and then we'll get you over to the police department. Okay. All right. Do I have Spencer Cotton online? Mr. Cotton, are you there? Just have to unmute.
Hello, how you doing today?
Okay, Mr. Cotton 22-02215, Mr. Ron.
Yes, Your Honor, we're in our community health probation department. We are here for the date and time for a potential final review hearing. Mr. Cotton has reported to the probation department as directed. He has completed all outpatient counseling requirements, all along with completing his community service. He has enrolled and completed a medical impact panel and has not driven a vehicle within 12 hours of consuming medical marijuana. Remains gainfully employed and provided his medical marijuana journal with all screens being on time and negative outside of his valid medical marijuana card.
So he did his outpatient counseling. So he was placed on probation for operating while visibly impaired a year ago. He has reported you as directed.
Correct.
Okay, he's done all of his counseling. He's done all of his community service. He's done everything they said. He kept his job. All right. He's been working hard. And Mr. Cotton, I trust that you're in a good, healthy, positive place. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Cotton, what's your takeaway from this whole experience? What have you learned to protect yourself going forward?
Be more responsible and don't smoke and drive.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Cotton, I think as I just talked about with the students, is that driving is such an incredible privilege, and you want to make sure you're on high alert, because operating a motor vehicle can be dangerous to you, to the community, to people around you. So you want to be locked in and not have anything that could impair your ability to function the way you want. And Mr. Cotton, obviously you've made a negative choice that brought you here, but what I really wanted to focus on today is you showed that you are a responsible and reliable member of the community by the way in which you responded to this event. Okay, you made a poor decision and then you turned it around and you showed that you accepted responsibility. You made healthy choices since then. You demonstrated your commitment to keeping yourself and others safe. That's the whole goal of probation. And you've had no issues whatsoever on probation. You've not violated in any way, shape, or form. You've locked it in. You did great community service through Forgotten Harvest. You've shown your quality, Mr. Khan. It's time for you to be done with probation. I do salute your efforts, and I congratulate you, sir. Well done.
Thank you so much.
So make sure to take care of yourself, keep yourself safe. It is the order of this court that Mr. Khan is in full compliance and has completed all terms of probation. And I will discharge you, sir, from probation with improvement. And there was an outstanding balance, but that balance was related to the remaining probation time. And so I'm not going to charge him for probation oversight costs when he's not on probation. So your balance is waived, your file is closed. Congratulations. Go have a great life, sir.
Thank you so much.
Well done. Oh, the students gave you a round of applause in here. How about that? Good job, Mr. John. Well done. Good job, students. Well, good work.
And that's where we will leave it today. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks to all those that came in and watched. Tomorrow is Judge David Wolf, so don't forget to come and watch that at 3 o'clock. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock my time 12 o'clock Eastern Time on Rumble will be the body cam footage. So don't forget, come on and support this channel. Support what we're doing here. It doesn't cost you anything. But that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. For now, ta-ta and ciao-ciao for now. You all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Why is it doing that? Do it this way.